I used to be up at 4 a.m. every night overthinking everything. I was convinced I was doomed for a life as an insomniac, never really getting a great night of sleep. I'd absolutely spiral into anxiety about the next day, and I'd end up just reaching for my phone to scroll or putting on Parks and Rec so I could fall asleep to the sound of Ron Swanson. And then I'd spend the next day fighting back yawn after yawn, pouring just one more cup of coffee so I could function. If you wake up feeling like you didn't actually sleep, or you go to bed exhausted but you still can't shut your brain off, or maybe you're like I was and completely dependent on caffeine to function, wondering why you're always so tired and why other people don't seem to have that same dependence, this video is for you. Hey, I'm Dr. Mel. I'm a licensed naturopathic doctor. This is Lola. She decided she wanted to join the video today. I help people just like you go after their goals and feel like themselves again without anxiety constantly getting in your way. Today, I'm sharing the nighttime routine that completely changed my sleep and turned me from an insomniac to a regular person who gets good sleep at night. I honestly used to think that I could only get my best ideas after 1 a.m. That was the only time of day that I could be truly creative. I figured that's just how my brain works. But when I finally learned how to regulate my nervous system and get good quality sleep, not just 8 hours, but actually waking up refreshed after those 8 hours, my mood, my focus, and even my creativity got so much better. No more brain fog, no more caffeine dependence, just clarity and energy that actually lasted throughout the day. I no longer felt foggy and needed to rely on my next caffeine hit, but was focused and clear. And I know that might sound so unrealistic for you right now if you feel like you're just a terrible sleeper, you're up all night, your mind will not shut up. But I promise you, that was my life since I was a kid. I remember being up all night with my mind racing, literally staring at the clock at 4 a.m., being like, I need to sleep. I'm gonna get 3 hours of sleep today. You can become a good sleeper and your mental health is going to completely transform. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the 3 steps to support your nervous system and regulate your circadian rhythm so you can fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling refreshed from your best night of sleep. So grab yourself a cup of tea and let's get started. How you sleep determines how you feel the next day. We know this, when you sleep terrible, you wake up feeling like trash. But if you want to wake up feeling clear, focused, and energized, that really starts the night before. If you're waking up already anxious, already exhausted, already dreading the day ahead, it's a sign that your nervous system isn't getting the support it needs at night. And that's where your evening routine comes in. Nervous system regulation isn't about doing one thing perfectly, the one thing that's going to magically fix your nervous system. It's about consistency. It's about training your body, training your nervous system little by little to feel safe. And in this case, to feel safe enough to rest, to trust that it doesn't have to be on high alert, that I can shift out of survival mode and into that repair and rest mode. Your circadian rhythm, which is basically like your body's internal clock, lives for a routine. It loves a rhythm, it wants predictability. It does not love when you've got a great grandma routine going during the week, and then on the weekends, it's 6 rounds of tequila shots, staying out all night. Now, that doesn't mean that your nights have to be boring or that every evening is gonna look the same forever. Of course, there's gonna be nights when you're out late, you're traveling, your routine's a little off, and that's part of a full, fun life. But when your nervous system is supported most of the time, it's more adaptable. So one night out doesn't completely throw you off or send you into an anxiety spiral the next day. The goal is resilience, not perfection. But at the end of the day, the more predictable your evenings are, the easier it is for your nervous system to downshift into that relaxed state and actually stay asleep. Your body loves a pattern. That means consistent light exposure, regular meals, and yes, a consistent wind down time. Sleep isn't just about feeling rested, it's when your body heals itself. This is why it's so crucial to get your sleep on track. You do not want to be missing out on that crucial healing and repair time. Your brain clears out the mental clutter, your nervous system resets, your mood evens out. Have you ever noticed how you can go to bed really stressed out about a problem and then the next day it suddenly feels a lot lighter? Or maybe you've noticed just how short your fuse is when you're running on 3 hours of sleep. Every email feels like a personal attack, every traffic jam's a full-blown meltdown. And instead of giggling about how clumsy you can be when you drop your toast, you are big, ugly crying over some spilled jam. But when you're well rested, you're calmer, you're sharper, you're less reactive. You feel like the best version of yourself. That's why building an evening routine isn't this nice wellness aesthetic thing to have. It's one of the most powerful and free ways that you can take care of your mental health. That's what these next 3 steps are all about. Creating space and safety for your body to actually let go and rest. Ever notice that you sleep like a rock after a full day out in the sun? That's not a coincidence. Light is the strongest cue for your circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock that tells you when it's time to wake up, when we're ready to be alert, and when it's time to wind down. Problem is, most of us spend our days inside, under artificial lighting, glued to our screens, barely seeing the sun except through a window if you're lucky, and then we wonder why our bodies don't feel tired at 1 a.m. If you're not getting natural light during the day, especially in the morning, your brain isn't getting the message that it's daytime. And when it's not clear on the difference between day and night, that makes falling asleep so much harder. Here's how you're gonna reset your circadian rhythm and give your nervous system the cues it's craving. In the morning, get natural light on your eyeballs as soon as you can. This is your morning cue that it's time to be awake. Open the blinds, step outside for 5 to 10 minutes. You can bring your mug of tea, your mug of coffee outside with you, bundled up in blankets if you want. You can walk the dog outside. And the bonus challenge here is to do all of this before you check your phone. In the evening, take a walk around golden hour, sunset. This is your evening cue to wind down. When you get back inside, start to dim the lights. So turning off overhead lights, turning on lamps in the room. You can also go really cozy and light a bunch of candles. I also love a salt lamp. I think it adds such a nice calming ambiance to the room. These are all things that are going to help your brain naturally calm down without forcing it. If you work inside all day, your brain's probably not getting the memo that it's time to unwind. You're going from overhead fluorescent lighting to Netflix, and your brain's not getting the signal that the day is ending. Giving yourself even 5 to 10 minutes of natural lighting at the right times is a really powerful way to anchor your body into a natural rhythm. That way you feel tired when you're supposed to and more awake when you're actually supposed to be getting things done. Light is free, it's powerful, and it's one of the simplest ways to regulate your nervous system without adding something crazy to your to-do list. Scrolling before bed is basically telling your nervous system, stay awake, stay stimulated, keep this cortisol spike going. And then we wonder why we're lying awake, staring at the ceiling, overthinking everything we've ever said. It's not just the blue light though that does mess with your melatonin production, it's the content overload, the emails, the Instagram ads, the 97 tabs you still have open in your brain. Your nervous system can't relax when your brain is still in input mode. Your body wants to rest, it just needs the right environment. If you feel like you just can't put the phone down, I want you to try some of these things. Plug your phone in to charge overnight outside of your bedroom. In some places I've lived, I've charged my phone in the kitchen. Sometimes it's in my office, sometimes the bathroom. Just find a different space that you can keep your phone to charge. You want it out of arm's reach so you're not tempted to pick it up and scroll in bed. Set app limits or use some type of screen time blocker that will either nudge you to stop scrolling or completely prevent you from using the app in the first place. This next part is key, but you need to swap that activity of scrolling with something else that's tactile. You can't just go cold turkey and stop that habit that you formed. You need to replace that habit with something else. So this could be reading a book, journaling, coloring, working on a crochet project, something where your hands are occupied so it's a lot harder to pick up a phone. Or, crazy idea here, just sit in silence. Let yourself be a little bored and actually check in with how you're feeling. I promise you're not going to explode. Just do a little, how's my mind feeling? How's my body feeling? Maybe even let yourself daydream a little bit. There's so few minutes in the day that we allow ourselves to just be. I used to scroll before bed until my eyeballs wanted to physically fall out of my body. I'd tell myself I'm too exhausted to do anything else. This is my me time, I'm relaxing. But really, I was just overstimulating the hell out of my nervous system. Now I read fiction, I listen to calming music, and I can feel my body decompress and actually start to power down. It's a totally different kind of tired when you fall asleep that way. Instead of feeling so beyond exhausted, you're the type of tired where it's easy to fall asleep when your head hits the pillow. If nothing else, remember this, your phone is still gonna be there tomorrow. There is nothing that interesting that you won't be able to see on it the next day. But your nervous system deserves a break tonight. Even with less screen time and more light exposure, sometimes your body needs a little something else to help it to wind down, especially if your nervous system tends to be anxious, wired, and completely overstimulated. This is where herbs and supplements can be incredibly helpful. I think some people are resistant to taking supplements because they think they're going to need to be on them forever. But I can tell you, as a recovering insomniac, I used to take a lot of different sleep supplements and now I don't need any, and I'm able to fall asleep very easily. They can be powerful for a short period of time in helping to easily shift your nervous system and train it and get more resilient. These are some of my absolute go-tos when I'm having a hard time sleeping. Magnesium glycinate, one of our favorites. It helps to relax the muscles. If you hold a lot of your tension in your shoulders and your jaw and your back, this kind of helps relax all that tension so it's easier to fall asleep. L-theanine is an amino acid that helps to calm the noise in your brain. It's really good for anxiety anxiety and just kind of taking that edge off to make it easier to fall asleep. Glycine is really good for deeper restorative sleep. So if you're someone who you feel like you're sleeping enough, but you're not getting good quality sleep, this might be something to look into. It actually helps to lower your core body temperature, which is a key part of helping you fall asleep. You need that body temperature drop. And then passion flower is one of my favorite herbs. It's actually more of an anxiety herb, but I hear so many people struggling with not being able to fall asleep because they're overthinking. They feel like their brain doesn't shut up and it keeps going. Passion flower helps to calm all of those circular thoughts. So I usually take all of these together. I will use the magnesium glycinate in powdered form, and then L-theanine and glycine. I'll break open some of those capsules, add some of the passion flower, and then I'll either add cold or hot water, depending on if I want more of a tea or a colder drink. I just mix all of that up, have it in a mug before bed while I'm reading at night, and it's like magic. It really helps to just relax, stop the overthinking, and get a really good night of sleep. These are all non-habit forming. They're gentle on the system. They're not gonna leave you with that weird sleep aid hangover that you can get the next morning. Which brings me to melatonin. Quick PSA on melatonin. It's not bad, but it's not my go-to on a daily basis. It's really good for things like jet lag, or if you're a shift worker and you are massively changing your circadian rhythm. I don't like it long-term because it can mess with your body's own production of melatonin, making you have a dependency on it. And often the dose in supplements is actually way higher than we need. I do hear from a lot of patients kind of feeling groggy in the morning or having those really vivid dreams that make you feel like you didn't quite get the rest that you wanted. Melatonin is great to have in your toolkit for when you're traveling, but not something you want to use on a daily basis. Rituals are a big part of the evening wind down process, and we're going to talk about that a lot later, but I did want to mention how powerful tea can be before bed. It's calming, it's sensory, it signals to your body we're winding down now. I'll usually reach for Earth Blend by Mind Body Herbals when I'm feeling a little bit more anxious, overstimulated, stuck in my head. And I'll reach for water when I'm feeling a little down, low, kind of emotionally drained, and just want a little comfort. Sipping something warm is very soothing on its own, but adding in tea blends that really target the nervous system is just going to be the best combination. Having a cup of tea at night is such a beautiful way to actually slow down and care for yourself. So we've talked about light exposure, ditching your evening scrolling habit, and how to use supplements and herbs to calm your body from the inside out. All of those are amazing foundations for sleep, but they become even more powerful when you build them into a consistent routine. And that's where the Pick 3 method comes in. If building a full-on evening routine feels overwhelming, especially with every online influencer telling you the right way to do it, let's just simplify things. I call this the Pick 3 method, and it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. You're gonna choose 3 simple things to do in the same order every night. That's it. Think of this like your adult version of bath, book, bed. Toddlers need cues that it's time to wind down. And guess what? So do we. Your nervous system thrives on those cues. They signal safety, routine, that it's finally okay to power down for the day. So what makes a good Pick 3 activity? It should be relaxing, not stimulating. Ideally screen-free, so that includes phones, iPads, TVs. And bonus if you can make it sensory. So think things like skincare, where you are touching and massaging your face, drinking a calming cup of tea, being under a weighted blanket. And then you might choose an activity that's more of a hobby or something that your inner child really enjoys. Coloring, crochet, gentle stretching, a breath work practice, reading, anything that you personally find really relaxing. So I'll give you an example. This is what my Pick 3 looks like right now. I always start by plugging my phone in outside of my bedroom. So I plug it in my office by 9:30. This is my official I'm done for the day signal to my brain. I'm starting my evening routine. No more screens. Then I head to the bathroom and I do my skincare. I really take my time here. I really enjoy it. Massaging the products into my face, really thinking about how they feel, turning it into this mini ritual. After my skincare, I'll brush my teeth, I'll go to bed, and that's when I read fiction. Always fiction, never nonfiction at night. Nonfiction just gets my brain going too much. I'll get new ideas. I'll suddenly want to rebrand my entire life. And we're trying to avoid that overthinking, overstimulation. I also avoid anything that's too action-packed or intense. So no thrillers, nothing violent. Usually I'll pick up something more cozy, like a romance or a fantasy book. And just to be clear, that doesn't mean you can never read a thriller or watch an action-packed show. It just means you might not want to do that right before you're trying to fall asleep. Not trying to activate fight or flight before bed. No, thank you. The key here is consistency. Same order, same general time. Usually I'm asleep by 10:30, 11. And by doing these same things in the same order at night, your body recognizes that pattern. It really just becomes automatic. That's what you do at night. I used to go straight from work, moving a million miles a minute, to climbing into bed and just expecting to pass out. Or I'd binge a show for hours, turn it off, and wonder why my brain wouldn't stop and I couldn't fall asleep. Of course I was overthinking. My nervous system had zero transition time. I didn't check in with myself, so my brain waited until the least convenient time, aka bedtime, to finally process the day. These small intentional habits, your Pick 3, send the message to your nervous system, you're safe. you can let go now. And when your body feels safe, sleep comes so much easier. I used to think insomnia was just part of who I was, that I was wired to be a night owl, that I'd always overthink everything and I could only be productive at 2 a.m. But once I started supporting my nervous system and really paying attention to my circadian rhythm, everything shifted. My sleep got better, my energy was more steady, and as it turns out, I can actually be way more creative and clear-headed during the day when I'm rested. So if you've been struggling with sleep for years, please hear me when I say this. You can fix your sleep. You just need a little rhythm reset, some consistent, gentle signals that tell your body it's safe to rest. The Pick 3 method is something that's simple, it's sustainable, it's something that you can start tonight. It doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. Just pick 3 things and repeat them every night. Let it be your nightly signal that rest is safe. Let me know in the comments what your Pick 3 are gonna be. And if you've struggled with sleep, I'd love to hear what works for you. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. I post new uploads every week on ways to take back control from your anxiety so you can finally feel like you again. If you want to go deeper, download the free Mind Body Toolkit. It's linked in the description below. It covers tons of other ways that you can support your nervous system, which will also help your sleep. I'll see you next time, but until then, I'm rooting for you every step of the way.